Hello, everyone. This is Dare to Speak. And just to let you know, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Ever since I was a little kid. I remember seeing Star Wars in 1977 and also Empire Strikes Back in 1980 and Return of the Jedi in 1983. I was there when I saw it. I was one of the original, you know, old school kids from back then, from back in the day. And just also to let you know that one of my most favorite out of all the Star Wars characters is obviously Darth Vader. And I admire this guy just about, I don't know for how many years, but he's one of my most favorite of all Star Wars characters, like I said before. And I'm going to explain the reason why, and also to get a little bit more in depth with what led Anakin to become Darth Vader, from my own opinion, and what he really represents to me. So, hope you enjoy this video. I first want to start off with the introduction of this book that I read, Star Wars Darth Plagueis. And I think it's an awesome book. For any of you who haven't read it yet, I highly recommend you read it. Or at least listen to the audiobook, which I'm not going to lie to you, half of it was from the audiobook. So, to get to the point, what I really liked about Darth Vader was his struggle between good and evil. Even though he was a good guy, and he got manipulated by Palpatine, aka Darth Sidious. Darth Vader shows a very good example of being able to keep the balance of the two. Even though he did a lot of evil, he didn't completely become evil. He managed to have both sides. That's what I really liked about this character. Other than the fact that he was a serious badass and intimidating like crazy, he actually represents the struggle between good and evil. I want to say that, from my own personal opinion, I think that Darth Vader, when he was Anakin, I don't think it was completely his fault. I wouldn't necessarily go as far as to blame him for it. Part of it was from Palpatine, obviously. But you may not agree with this, or maybe you might, but I think that the Jedi was also partly to blame. Ben Kenobi, because they didn't exactly had a good relationship together. When he promised Qui-Gon that he would take Anakin for his apprentice, he just became a Jedi Knight. And I don't think he was ready to be a teacher. I honestly don't feel he was ready. So, because of that, there was tension that was growing between them over the years. So, I don't think he was just quite ready for it. And he was being more overcritical. So there was a little bit of arrogance from the Jedi. And he pretty much, forgive me for saying this, I think he got screwed over and over again. And even though he did have a bad temper, I kind of felt sorry for him. He pretty much had it rough, and I think maybe 50% of the reason why he became Darth Vader is because of the fact that he pretty much got screwed over, got betrayed by the Jedi because of their arrogance, which pretty much led them to their demise. Palpatine pretty much exploited that. He sensed the arrogance, and he just took advantage. And then he saw his opportunity to mess with Anakin's mind, grooming him to become the villain that everybody knows of. And that is just my opinion. And also, I think there's also, I'm sorry, there's something else you also need to know. So much frustration that was going through him. The other 50% being with Palpatine was really, really messed up. When Anakin started to kill everybody, he was at his peak of madness, confusion, being screwed over by Palpatine, manipulated. And even though what he did was seriously messed up, I can't help but to think that what would happen if things would have been different? To me, the dark side of the Force isn't necessarily evil. I think it's more of the person. I think the dark side of the Force can be controlled. You could be a Sith Lord and do no evil. Or at least be laid back evil, however you want to look at it. It's really the fault of Palpatine because he was actually crazy. In this book, I pretty much found out more about how he really, the type of person he really is. He killed his parents. He was so ambitious, and he was actually naturally crazy. And you can't necessarily I couldn't even begin to say how crazy, seriously crazy this guy was. And what he did to Anakin.
No, I thought not. It's another story the Jedi would tell you. It's a Sith legend. Darth Vader, the Dark Lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise, he could use the Force to influence the midichlorians to create life. He had such a knowledge of the dark side, he could even keep the ones he cared about from dying. He could actually save people from death. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. What happened to him? He became so powerful. The only thing he was afraid of was losing his power, which eventually, of course, he did. Unfortunately, he taught his apprentice everything he knew. Then his apprentice killed him in his sleep. Ironic. He could save others from death, but not himself.
So there you have it. That's just my opinion on the whole thing. So leave any comments, ask any questions, any kind of debate concerning this, because he is my most favorite character, and I know that a lot of people like Darth Maul a lot. I do too. Don't get me wrong. I think uh, I think Darth Maul is a badass in his own right. Also arrogant. I mean, he let his guard down. I think that he could have easily beat Obi-Wan in Phantom Menace. He just that he uh, he was just too confident. He became overconfident and he just let his guard down. So, and because of that, this guy got his ass kicked and got cut in half. So, any questions, any comments, just pretty much just drop any of them. And to all of you, take care.